All right, today we're going to learn about volumes of cones, so 12.5b. Nice thing about cones, they have the same formula as the volume of a pyramid. The only difference here, obviously, is going to be when you're calculating base, you're going to be using pi r squared because our base is a circle, okay? But it's still 1/3 area of the base times the height. So real quick, it says find the volume of the cone. So just real simply, volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. So we would have 1/3 area of the base, pi r squared. So pi times 2 squared. And then the height here, again, height goes straight up and down. It makes the 90 degree is 8. So there's that. 1/3 pi. See, this would be 4. 4 times 8 is 32. So really, if we have 1/3 pi times 32, the best way I think to solve that is just to take 32 pi. So 32 pi. Now, times a third is the same thing as dividing by 3. So we can just do 32 pi divided by 3. So what we get there is an answer of about 33.51. Go, come on. There we go. And again, we're in volume, so it would be inches cubed. So pretty simple there. Obviously, I can't give everything that simple, right? I'm going to make you do a little extra work. So here, finding volume, still in cones. So again, we're focusing in on that 1/3 area of the base times the height. So here, our volume is going to be 1/3 area of the base. Well, our radius is 5, so pi 5 squared. However, this is not our height. This is the slant height. Remember, the height is here. So we're going to have to do Pythagorean theorem to figure out our height. So I'll do that off to the side. It'll be 5 squared plus 8 squared equals 13 squared. So h squared ends up being 144. So h is 12. So 12 is what we'd plug in there. Oh, what is that? My goodness. Computer is not wanting to cooperate with me a lot today. That's all right, though. So equals 1/3. Oh, for crying out loud. Pi. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 12 is going to be 400. No. Why am I blanking on 25 times 12? It's 300. Duh. Okay. Now, I do know that 1/3 of 300 is 100. So we could write that as 100 pi. And then 100 times pi. 314 something. Let's check here. $314.16. And centimeters cubed. Okay. And again, if you want to plug all this in at one time, that's fine. Just be careful on your calculator. Make sure the 1/3 you put in parentheses there. Otherwise, do all this part, divide by 3. That works too. All right. Next one. Again, not going to make it easy on you. But we're still using, volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. Okay, now we don't know the radius, but we do know the height is 9. But we need to find the radius in order to find area of the base. Well, lucky for us, we got a right triangle. So let's just call this R down here for radius. In order to find R, gonna have to use sine, cosine, tangent, SOHCAHTOA. So our angle is 24. We have the opposite side and the adjacent side. So that's going to be tangent. And it would be 24. Opposite over adjacent. So R over 9. So we're going to have to take 9 times tangent 24. So back to my calculator here. 9 times tangent 24. Pretty much 4.007. We'll call it 4. So R is going to equal 4. So R equals 4. All right, so now we can do area of the base is pi times 4 squared. And then our height is 9. So 4 squared is 16. 16 times 9 is 144. And then we can just do 144 pi divided by 3. Check my 16 times 9 just to make sure. Yep, 144. And then we're going to take that times pi. And then we're going to divide it by 3. And so 150.796, so 150.8. And centimeters cubed. So that's that one. So there are a few here where you might be missing some things, like missing a radius or missing a height. And you may have to do, Pythagorean theorem or, your sine, cosine, tangent to figure out those other values that you need. So that's why that stuff was important earlier on in the year. All right, this one, some algebra here. We got to find the radius, right? So we're given the volume here. So again, we'll just start from the very beginning with our formula. So it's a volume problem with a cone. So 1/3 area of the base times the height. Volume, we're given 718.38. So that's going to equal 1/3. Area of the base, well, our radius is x. So that would be pi times x squared. And then times the height, which is 14. Okay, so now we got to get this x squared all by itself. So we can kind of do it one step at a time. We can combine some steps. Just depends on what you want to do. I would get rid of this 1/3 first. So to get rid of the 1/3, you would multiply both sides by 3. Because what happens here is 3 times 1/3 is just 1. Okay, so that would go away. And then if we go to our calculator and do our 718.38, 718.38 times 3, 215514. So that equals pi times x squared times 14. Okay, now what we use is divide both sides by 14 pi. So if we divided that side by 14 pi, pi's would cancel, 14's would cancel. We'd be left with x squared. We're going to divide what we just got. Make sure you use parentheses here. Divided by 14 pi, like that. And we're going to get about 49. And then, so last step is to square root. So x would be 7 inches. Like that. All right, last one's a word problem. You have one like this, although it's not in the form of a word problem, but it's the same type of problem. I'll explain why here in a second. So it says, a sculptor wishes to make a cone with a height of 3 feet and a base diameter of 4 feet out of a square prism. How much ice will go unused? So he wants to basically cut a cone out of here. He wants to figure out how much ice is going to be left after he takes it out. So you're going to have a problem that's a prism where a cone's been taken out of it. So that's the volume we're finding here. That's the volume we're going to have to find on a problem. And you know what? I'll even give you the problem number. So maybe you can circle it as you're working. So I'm talking about problem number 24 is what I'm talking about. So it's very similar to that. So we're going to find, first of all, we're going to find the volume of this thing. So volume of a prism is area of the base times the height. So depending on which way you look at it, let's say you use the bottom as the base here. That's 10 by 5. So that would be 50, and then the height is 5. So overall, we have a volume of 250 feet cubed. We want to figure out what volume we have left after we take out this cone. And it's a cone that has a height of 3 feet. It's a sad looking cone, but you get the idea. So height of 3 feet. Diameter at the base is 4 feet. So volume of a cone is going to be 1/3 the area of the base times the height. So for the cone, we're going to get 1/3. Area of our base is pi r, which would be 2 squared, and then a height of 3. So right now I already know 1/3 times 3 is just 1. So really it just ends up being 4 pi. So we're going to subtract the 4 pi, which would be the cone. And so if we do that, again, we're going to want to use parentheses. So 250 minus parentheses 4 pi. So 237.43 is what we could have left. And feet cubed. So that's how you do one like that. So again, on problem 24 here on 12.5, what you want to do is find the volume of the prism first, and then you subtract the volume of the cone. So nothing too bad. There's your assignment. Again, not that many problems, so just make sure when you're doing it, you're showing work. See, looks like 15, 16, 17. Those are problems where you're going to have to use sine, cosine, tangent. So remember your SOHCAHTOA. If you need help, if you have questions on it, just shoot me an email. I'm more than willing to help. I just got done doing the first Zoom meeting. I think it went well. So maybe we'll be doing another one of those here this week or early next week. If you have thoughts on the Zoom meetings, if you think there's something that could make it better, or if you just thought it was good or thought it was bad, shoot me an email. Let me know. I'm here for you if you need anything. But that's today's lesson, and good luck.